we will be discuss the kinds of research report. But before we introduce the kinds of research report, let us first define what is research report. So, a research report it is completed study that reports an investigation or exploration of a problem, identifies questions to be addressed, and include data collected, analyzed, and interpreted by the researcher. And what is the aims of the research report? So the research report is aims to write clearly and concisely about your research topic so that the reader can easily understand the purpose and result of your research. And now, let us proceed to the kinds of research report. So we have three kinds. First is academic research report, second, the research articles for publication, and the last one is commission research report. Now, what is academic research report? Academic research reports are used to present and discuss the results of an experiment, survey, or other research method. These reports often require a specific layout and inclusion of a certain set of sections. An academic report aims to sell a product, idea, or point of view. It should inform, explain, and persuade by using well-organized research. Sometimes it will provide recommendations. There are sections that are usually included in an academic report. These include introduction, literature review or background, methods, results, discussion, and conclusion. In the introduction to your academic report, you present the research topic or question and explain why you choose to study that topic. You may also present a general overview of the work you did and your findings, expanding on these points further in the main body of the text. Literature review or background. In this section, you will briefly summarize work on this topic that other researchers have conducted, including their findings. You can also provide any background information on the topic that your readers should have before you present your own work. Next is methods. The methods section is where you describe the steps you took in your research. For example, you can describe the methodology you used to build your study, the sampling method you used to obtain survey participants, and the steps you took in a scientific experiment. And we also have results. In this section, you will describe the results of your study. For example, you will provide information such as survey participants' answers, medical test results, data from scientific experiments, and any statistical analysis results. Discussion. In this section, you will discuss the implications of your findings, explaining them and relating them to the previous research presented in your literature review. And for the last section is the conclusion. The conclusion is where you summarize your main work and findings as well as the implication of your work. You should not introduce any new materials in this section. You should also provide recommendations based on your findings and discuss any future research needed.
So now let's proceed to the research article for publication. What is research article? Research article reports the results of original research, assesses its contribution to the body of knowledge in a given area, and is published in a peer-reviewed scholarly journal.
So let's proceed to the contents or features of research articles. Research articles generally consist of the following components, such as a title and abstract, an introduction, a methodology, results, discussion, and references or citation. So let's continue to the title and abstract. What is title and abstract? The title and abstract are key factors in determining whether the entire article will be read. Moreover, a title should be descriptive, giving the reader an idea of the focus of the study. Why? Because the internet has made it possible to access so many research articles online. A title should contain enough keywords for an interested reader to find the article. Meanwhile, the abstract serves as a mini summary of the study. Many readers will review the abstract based on the findings. So usually, the abstract contains 150 to 300 words. It includes the introduction, the significance of the study, which usually answers the questions, why did you do this study, the methodology, the results and discussions, and the conclusions. Therefore, the reader will decide whether to read the entire article or not. Let's proceed to the second components of the research articles, which is the introduction. The introduction serves multiple purposes. It presents the background to your study, introduces your topic and aims, and gives an overview of the paper. A good introduction will provide a solid foundation and encourage readers to continue on to the main parts of your paper, which is the methods, results, and discussion. So let's proceed to the third part of the research article, which is the methodology. The research methodology is the specific procedures or techniques used to identify, select, process, and analyze information about a topic. Moreover, in a research paper, the methodology section allows the reader to critically evaluate a study's overall validity and reliability. The methodology section answers two main questions. Number 1, how was the data collected or generated? Number 2, how was it analyzed? Next is the fourth part of the research article, which is the results of the study. The results section will present the data, the meat of the study. The fifth part of the research article is the discussion. The discussion section presents an interpretation of the results of the study. Moreover, the authors will summarize the findings and assess them in the larger context of the existing knowledge, pointing out the ways in which their findings relate to those from prior studies. And lastly, the last part of the research article is the citations. The citations or references come at the end of the article and should list all books, articles, and other resources used and cited in the article. So remember, there are many ways how to cite a resources or references. So I have a example, the APA style citations. It includes the authors and the date of publication, kung saan itong dalawa ay naka-bold ito. Then the article title, the journal title, the volume, the issue, and lastly the page numbers. And that's all. Thank you.
There is no unequivocal definition of commission research. Much of the research that is undertaken puts the interests of various users at the center of attention, and most research projects are carried out with funding from external sources. A report on commission research published by the Norwegian National Research Ethics Committee discussed this issue in 2003. The report's definition of commission research emphasized four silence elements. The findings are expected to benefit the client and other user groups. Specify the client. The client retains a retained right to the use of the generated research result after project completion. This definition remains valid and is wide enough to cover both research for innovation and marketing in industry and the private sector, as well as research generating evidence to inform public policy making and implementation. Research financed mainly by client as the external sources or sources of funding. The client determines the dam of the research to become conducted and the attend research problems, but not the approach and the methods.
We are going to proceed to the three main phases in commission research. First, we have inception. Second, we have implementation. Third, we have dissemination. First, the inception is a dedicated period at the beginning of a program that is focused on learning and better understanding the context for implementation. Second is the implementation is a typically multi-method inquiry that uses both quantitative and qualitative data to access the programs and policies that are subject of an evaluation. Third, we have dissemination. It's simply about getting findings of your research to the people who can make use of them to maximize the benefit of the research without delay.